The others. In the previous edition, this chapter was called The Opposition, but in a communication of May 1994, Tom relayed the information that it would be better to use the term the others as it carried a less significant energy imprint. And while awareness is required, the less thought that is given, the less power is available for negativity. There are many insights in this chapter, turning a potentially unpleasant subject into an extremely useful exercise. Tom, there are those groups, those organizations, those religions and all forms of government that set rules on paper to control both humankind and their souls. Yet humankind has rebelled against the laws. When we speak of laws, we mean the laws that govern the universe. It is a form of natural law, what you might call a gentleman's agreement. This agreement applies on planet Earth, as well as in the whole universe. The others do not adhere to laws. They are what you would call the rule breakers of the universe. They do not adhere to natural law, but there are natural laws that are in essence a form of discipline for those who exist upon Earth. They have been instituted in the universe because they bring the greatest benefit to all, and because working with these rules is also a learning process for the soul. For, in truth, the spirit has no rules or laws set upon it to guide it, yet without them it would be as a ship at sea without a rudder. The others, knowing that Earth is a place of free will, do not adhere to natural law on this planet. We cannot give to you our guarantee that you will therefore be in total protection from the influence of the others, for we do not interfere in the free will of humans. Andrew, could you give us some idea what the others' forces are like, their anatomy, their physiology, their distribution, their presence? See, we know nothing about them, and it would help us a great deal to understand what they are, and who they are, and how they operate. Tom, first let us explain to you how they operate in the physical body. All that is not good in a physical body is used by the negative forces. The objective is to be positive balanced, not positive imbalanced. When you rebalance the positive and the negative, or when the physical body is tired or weakened, the negative forces may attempt to use your physical being, even if balanced, to create disharmony, to upset and unbalance. So this is how they attempt to use those beings who are working with us. Your physical body, because of its density and heaviness, has certain things that it must keep in balance. Even overexposure to your electrical equipment can bring imbalance. Desire, greed and unbalanced emotions can be used to upset the balance and they become trapped, so that they then reincarnate over and over. In the other worlds of the universe they attempt to do the same, but it is only on planet Earth, because of its density, they are able to accomplish this. You would like to know if they are the counterpart of us, is this not correct? Andrew, yes. Tom, no, they are not the counterpart of us. We are in the center. And we do not wish to sound as if we are perfect or if we are egotistical, but on either side of us there is the positive and the negative. By this I mean there is the positive that is not balanced, and the negative that is not balanced. We are in the center and we are balanced. We are trying to bring those other forces into balance. Andrew, right. Tom, remember, those that are so positive in their approach that they have no sense, create just as many problems as those that live on greed, anger, frustrations and fears. Andrew, well, what is the nature of the negative and the positive? We do not understand clearly what their nature is. Tom, we will try and explain so that you will understand, but we are not sure that we would find the words to explain the entire truth. You are a physical being and you have a left and you have a right side. And without that left you would be unbalanced with your right, and without your right you would be unbalanced with your left. This is the situation. They are part but they are not all, and they are not complete. Does this answer your question? Andrew, just one further point, the negative forces of the nature of beings, are they aware, do they live? Tom, they live as you live and we live? Andrew, well, I understand that one of the names of the leader of the others is Satan. Is that correct? Tom, may we say to you that the word that you have just spoken is a very powerful word, and it is unfortunate that people on your planet do not understand that the use of this word creates much difficulty for all that are around. Nevertheless, it is true what you have said, it is the most horrible of all, the beast. Andrew, I see. My real question was not really that, but what is the opposite of that beast? Tom, do we not speak to you? Remember there is a balance. The beast is an opposition to us but it is not the counterpart of us, as an equal and opposite. Do you know what causes Satan? Andrew. No, I have no idea, to me it's just a meaningless word. I have no feeling for it. You're telling me it really has meaning in the world? Tom, it has great meaning because of the power of the word. It is the temptations of the world. Andrew, that means for Earth specifically, or for the universe? Tom, the universe? Andrew, I take it when you say temptations that means something not desirable in evolution. Tom, that is correct. Andrew, what would be examples of temptation on a cosmological scale? Tom, for example, misrepresenting us, with a false picture, or using our name in falsehood or deception. The Nazarene was very sad about the things that had been done in his name. We are also sad about the things that have been done in his name and for the use of his name. And we are also sad about the things that have been done in our name. When we say this, we say it for you to understand that the temptations of Satan to feed egos, to control individuals, is the most serious problem upon your planet. It is the one thing that will destroy. It is the craving for power and the craving for control. And the craving is so strong that when it cannot be fulfilled one way, they will find another. But when they use the name of the Nazarene or they misrepresent us, and they say in the name of God I do this, that is the worst. We know what is in their hearts, and it is Satan that tempts them to do this, for the control and the power it gives them over other beings. Satan is the unbalanced negative. Now does that help you? Andrew, yes, it does. I take it for example that these evangelical preachers who are always talking about Satan, evil, sin and power and such matters. Tom, they feed Satan. Look at the money, the business that falls into their pockets for controlling the masses. Andrew, they seem to appeal to one's guilt in order that you pay them in some way or another. Tom, you cannot pay your way to us, and someone should have informed humanity. We do not need your 10%. Guest, can you tell me what are the rules or agreements that you and the 24 have with the others? Tom, we do not agree with them. We have rules of the universe, they do not always abide by them. Guest, yes, but what are they supposed to be? Tom, how can we convey that? We will try to find an analogy, as there are rules of war and peace within your world. It is the same with the civilizations. Guest, yes, I understand. I'm asking if it's possible to communicate what these rules are, specifically. Tom, they are not to bring about physical harm, destruction, insidiousness, they are not to use the strengths. Yes. Guest, I don't quite understand because I find that completely unrealistic. All the things that you just mentioned, it seems to me, are exactly what their existence is based on. Tom, they are to use the weaknesses, not the strengths. Irene, on thinking about the others, it came to me that the opposition's need to bottleneck souls is not just about the destruction of humankind but is in fact a much larger issue and has to do with many universes. Is that correct? Tom, that is correct, yes. Irene, what is the nature of the others? Tom, all that comes from creation. There is not really the language to explain this properly. I will try again. Of all matter that is created from creation, that of the opposition is like antimatter. The universe must have an element of both for complete balance. If one is out of balance or in negative control, then the universe is not in balance for evolutionary development. The others are the opposite of life, the anathema of life. Andrew, is the composition and nature of the others in some way equal and opposite to your existence as the nine? Tom, correct, you understand that. Steve, I've now come across two separate statements in the communications about the others. One statement was, the others are not the counterpart of us. Much later you said, Satan is the opposite side of the coin to us. I find these two statements difficult to understand and reconcile. Tom, we will try to explain. If you recall, we explained ourselves as being a pivot. And we explained about the positive and the negative, did we not? What in your world you call evil is not a counterpart to us. When we speak of Satan being the other side of the coin, are you prepared to hear what we have to say? As we are in force, then on the opposing pole is Satan. We are attempting to bring what is negative and what is positive into perfection and balance. For it is necessary to have both to make a perfect whole. But on the opposite pole, what you call Satan, wishes not to bring it into balance, for if by bringing it into balance a soul becomes perfect and may live in freedom, Satan cannot live. It only exists and lives from souls that have desire for power, control, manipulation and greed. Irene, when were the others created and why? Tom, if you could not challenge your own mind, would you be bored? Irene, yes. Tom, therefore first there was the thought. Then the necessity to challenge the thought, do you understand? Irene, yes. Tom, there is your answer. Irene, oh, there's more to it than that. Isn't there? But you want me to find out what's in myself first, don't you? Tom, together in slowness we find out. Irene, I want to ask about angels. When you once spoke about angels not having choice, are angels messengers of one of the 24? Tom, each side has angels. Irene, you mean the others also? Tom, yes. There are different appearances of angel. Irene, how can we recognize on whose side they are? Tom, always look for the golden light. Those angels working for evolution always radiate a golden light. They are messengers from the Creator, they are messengers from the civilizations, and they do not have free choice. Irene, why? Tom, for they have given their free will to the Creator. Irene, so it's another form of service. Tom, yes. Much truth has been destroyed to keep the masses in control. People, organizations of government and religion do not suppress any manner of thing unless it is a threat to them, or unless it is truth. Is that not so? This is the others at work, since they understand the energies of all creation, and how to use it to make themselves look like God, in order to keep humankind in bondage. John, in these days of accelerating changes, it seems that on Earth there is a negative reaction against change as well as a positive movement. What is your assessment of this? Tom, when there is movement and forwardness, all that has been wishes to remain as it was. That is an element within humankind. A portion of humankind has fear, not knowing the future, and also wishes not to give up the known factor. Therefore you have that aspect of negativity. You also have the aspect of negativity from those in power who wish to maintain control and manipulation over others. However, in our assessment it is a remnant that appears to be holding firm, and when its life is being threatened it maintains a stranglehold. Ron, I would like to find out about the energy of the others, in distinction to our own negativities that arise within ourselves. Is it important to be able to distinguish where this negative energy is coming from, or is there a different way of dealing with it, as it arises? Tom, there is within you, which there is in all upon planet Earth, in different degrees, an amount of negativity. Let us say that if you had a black spot of negativity on the all-white of purity, and then you permitted it to grow such that the white deteriorated, if you looked at the spot as being negativity within you, and accepted it, and permitted it to be dispersed with recognition, and if you thereby came to know your fears, this would be useful negativity. But if it grew out of proportion to your fear, then the others are attempting to unbalance you. If you are aware of this, remember this, you have a greater power, because you are in a physical existence, but also if you are consciously connected with us, you have an even greater power. When you come into knowledge, wisdom and truth, when all that is in the universe is slowly beginning to be revealed, then those that desire to control Earth, in order to control the universe, begin to create great difficulty for you. Coming into knowledge and truth does not make your path easier. Remember this, to be in service is to pay for that service. For in truth, there are those that would like to remove your awareness and your knowledge. Respect them, do not laugh at them, but be firm in your faith, and they cannot deter you, nor harm you. If they create difficulty for you, then with your mind, see yourself being swept from the ground to your head with our love, our light, and our joy in you. Do not hesitate to ask for help. Do not proudly do all by yourself. We cannot help if you do not ask. We do not interfere in your free will. But even with all our love for those that are in service to us, and for the sake of all the souls upon planet Earth, without your asking we cannot help. Be not as proud as planet Earth has been, for much of its existence, acting independently and wishing to do so on its own. It is in togetherness that the planet Earth will come out of its bondage, togetherness with us, the civilizations in service and the souls in service upon planet Earth. John, if people were left alone and there were no opposing forces, would they tend to do the right thing? Tom, yes. Humanity could overcome its own weaknesses, but these are exploited and increased by the opposing forces. There is temptation, greed and desire. John, how did this problem start in the first place, and how was it not checked earlier? Tom, it happened because we were not aware of the problems that the physical would create, and we were unaware of the implications of feeling of heaviness and pleasure. We never interfere in free will, so we choose not to intervene, if possible, in what has developed. We were not aware of this because this is the only planet in the universe that has the physical qualities that create this problem. It does not have a sister planet nor a brother planet. The problem is created within the soul of the individual. The planet is a dense planet, and it in turn then gives a different feeling to the body, but it is actually within the soul of the individual. It feels pain, it feels pleasure, it feels sorrow, it feels happiness. The physical body has different feeling than in all the other planets and in all the other souls that exist. In other systems, other galaxies, there are other physical beings that do not have the density of this planet. Here the soul begins to feel in a different way from the way it felt before, and it has the feel of desire. It has pleasure and pain. Yet this has become very important for the evolutionary growth of the planet, because it was originally the planet of balance. Here is a very important point illustrated by the Sino-Tibetan conflict. Irene, I realize how important it is that the systematic genocide of Tibetans by Chinese not be allowed, because if the Chinese were allowed to wipe out the Tibetans, that surely becomes an imbalance that could never be balanced again. Tom, that is correct. It is important, in your meditations, to work to stop it, for when you permit extinction through deliberate elimination, as also with the extinction of an animal species, it can never be replaced. And then that portion of the matrix becomes a portion where the others may superimpose. Irene, so it's more than just disappearing, it's allowing the others to take a stronger hold. Tom, that is correct, yes. Irene, well, then we just won't let it happen. Tom, we thank you, yes. It is necessary to bring into the consciousness of humankind the necessity for worldwide protest over elimination of peoples on planet Earth. The others act to attempt elimination through genocidal methods, just as they seek removal of different strains of animal and plant species upon planet Earth. You humans dedicate yourself to stopping elimination of those endangered species of animal, but you do not protest the danger of extinction of endangered species of humankind. Include exposure of these issues in your meditations. What is of importance is bringing forth that knowledge about genocide and extinction into the conscious viewing eyes of humankind, then they cannot turn away. When it is not spoken of, or when it is pretended that elimination is non-existent, then many negative developments can take place under this decoy. Irene, it feels that things are moving quickly. 19,891. There is a balance being affected that those of us who live in the third dimension can't see. What's happening? Tom, do you understand the concept that if the awakening comes in its own time there is total destruction, and if it comes with acceleration then there is salvation? You have begun the acceleration. It must continue. You also notice that there is more fanaticism. John, yeah. Tom, that is slowly being dissipated. Yes. The most important thing is for it to be released, for in suppressing it, it grows more violent. Yes. Irene, but isn't it also true that as we move forward, the others, Tom, are moving in forwardness towards you? Yes.